Welcome back to Runnergy here. I am Jeff. Today we are going to be going over my 45 days of running in the ASICS Nimbus 28, and I can tell you right up front that I have thoroughly enjoyed this shoe quite a bit. Please make sure you watch the whole video so you don't miss anything, and plus it really helps out the channel. So, many of you know one of my favorite shoes, my favorite shoe from ASICS in modern times is the Nimbus 25. I still have it. Absolutely love this shoe. We will find out if I like this one even more. Have they improved even over the 25? Because the 26 was a bit firm. The 27 was just kind of a boat. Let's find out if ASICS has fixed all those issues on this Nimbus 28. Again, I've been running on these for about 45 days. Come in around 170, so this is a premium cushion shoe from ASICS. If you need a more stability focused version of this shoe with more stability for over-pronating, then they have a shoe called the ASICS Kayanu. So make sure you check that out instead if you have an issue with over-pronating in. If you have a neutral gait and you like a lot of cushioning, this is a great choice as far as my opinion goes. You can also put an insole in this shoe if you want a little more arch support or arch fit in here. Let's move on to the bottom of the shoe here. This is the outsole. I always like to start with the outsole on here and work our way up. I've been very happy with the outsole on this shoe. I walk and I run, and so walkers, we tend to wear out the outside heel. I have not seen much wear here. Maybe you can, but it looks pretty good to me. Traction has been good on most surfaces. If it's a little dusty, it can get a little bit slippery. If it's a little wet, it can be a little bit slippery. I have another option from ASICS that might be better if you tend to run in slightly wet conditions. But yeah, it's got a very nice wide platform here. And again, you got these carbon, what they call AHAR, ASICS high abrasive rubber in these areas here for more durability. So yeah, the outsole has been very good. All right, let's move on to the midsole of this shoe. Okay, just before we get into the midsole of the shoe, the guts here of the shoe, I do want to mention that all of the opinions in this video are mine. No one is seeing this video before it's uploaded. Let's talk about the midsole here, because that is kind of where you get the vibe and feel of the shoe. And does this shoe have a vibe and a feel? It is really, really nice. Let's take a look here. It's 20% lighter than the version 27, and it is extremely noticeable. The version 27 before this was kind of a boat. It kind of felt bulky. I didn't love running in it. I was okay with it for walking. I don't mind a bit of a more substance shoe for walking than running, but it was a bit of a bulky shoe for running. This is not. This is very responsive. Like, again, much lighter weight than the version 27. It offers the Flight Foam Blast Plus in the midsole here, and Pure Gel, different foams in here. Whatever they're called, I really don't care. As long as the shoe feels cushy, it feels stable, performs well for me. I really don't care what kind of names and fancy stuff that they want to call these foams. They're all going to be foam, air, some kind of rubber injected into it, maybe some kind of nitrogen as well. But again, I don't really care. That stuff means nothing to me. I just care about how it performs and how it feels. And this shoe feels very good. Lightweight, cushy, stable enough. Got to remember, this is a cushion focused shoe, so it's not going to really offer any real pronation control or anything like that. As far as this outer heel, this is where a lot of shoes tend to have an issue. They tend to kind of squish here. I have not found this to be much of an issue on really any of the Nimbuses, to be honest. But this does have this groove here. It might compress over time a little more than if it didn't have that. But I didn't really notice too much of it being too squishy. It has a 43.5 millimeter in the back, 35.5 in the front millimeter, 8 millimeter drop between the front and the back of the shoe. You ladies lose 1 millimeter. I don't know why ASICS and some other brands do this. It's 1 millimeter lower in the women's for some weird reason. Maybe it should cost less money in the women's. Just saying. you know. But anyway, this is one of the this has been the best one as far as walking, as far as the cushioning in here. I really like it. I would say the 27 is fairly close for walking, but for running, the 27 just felt kind of bulky. This is just a really versatile shoe. Works great for walking, works great for running. It's responsive enough. I did take this shoe to the track, and it felt more than responsive enough. There is another option I think that I like more for like tempo runs and track workouts. That's still a daily trainer type shoe, not a performance shoe. Obviously a Nova Blast or something would be much better for speed workouts and so forth. But if you're looking for like just a regular trainer, cushion focus that can do all kinds of stuff, including tempo runs and track workouts and all kinds of stuff. There is another option I will get to in this video that I like a little bit more than this. The midsole seems to be holding up very well. I probably have about 50 to 60 miles on this shoe. The cushioning has been holding up very well. So yeah, really nice. Really nice on the midsole here. Good job, ASICS. Okay, before we get going on to the upper of the shoe, the top part of this shoe, which is interesting this time around, please like and subscribe to the video if you are enjoying and getting good information from it. It really helps out the channel, and I really appreciate it. Let's move on to the upper of the shoe here. The upper on this shoe is a engineered knit, so it does have a little bit of a kind of tighter weave than say some of the other shoes, like say the Brooks Glycerin. I still found this fairly breathable. Not the most breathable. I do find like say the Brooks Glycerin 23 to be a little bit more breathable, but it was definitely on par with most of the shoes. We'll get into the comparisons in just a moment. So one of the things with the Nimbus is ever since the 25th version, they've all been kind of blousy and a little bit baggy in here. I have to say, I'm very happy to say that the upper on this shoe fits much more snug and less blousy. It still does have a little bit, you can kind of see it does this, but this shoe is much more shallow in the toe box. So I've had some people feel like this was pressing in on their toes, including me. In fact, I actually thought the shoe was too small until I got about 20, maybe 30 miles on it, and then it was more than comfortable. But it did have some break-in on the, if you tend to have shoes that push down on the top of your foot here on the toes, this is much more shallow than previous models in my experience. You can, I don't know if you can still see it here. It still gets a little bit blousy here in the arch area. You may want to put like an insole in here just to kind of fill in this space in here, but it's much better than say previous versions of the Nimbus since the 25. The tongue, absolutely fantastic. If you saw my video before, I have a short video. They fixed the stitching on here, so I don't wear socks sometimes, and I would feel the stitching here on previous ones. You can see it on this Cumulus from ASICS. And there's a stitching in here, and good gosh, it would rub the top of my foot. They really did a nice job. You can kind of see the stitching here is very nice flat lock stitching. Very stretchy tongue. The back of the shoe and the heel really snug back in here. I never had any issues. This needed some breaking in up in the front, but the back in here has been very good from day one. Very good on the upper on the shoe. I think that is about it on the upper of the shoe. It does come in multiple widths. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that it does come in standard, medium, and extra wide. You got a lot of width options on the shoe. If you got a really narrow foot, still might not be the shoe for you. You may want to go with something that runs a little bit narrower, but in general, very comfortable upper here. I've worn this many times without even any socks, and it's very comfortable. It still has that classic padded heel collar back here that the Nimbus is known for, and it works great. Got the little pull loop on the back here to pull it up. It's pretty well stitched, so I'm not too concerned of it breaking. So yeah, really nice job on the upper of this shoe. And now we're going to get into comparing it to these other shoes. All right, getting on to comparing it to several shoes here. And let's see, where do we start? We are going to start with the Saucony Triumph 23, which I actually do have. and did a review on this, so if you want, go check that out after this video. And I have to say, I think that this is the most similar feeling between the two shoes. I don't know, I just feel like they fit pretty similar, the platform is pretty similar, the weight is very similar, the responsiveness and cushioning of the foam in the shoe is very similar, the price points are similar, they both are fairly snug fitting, although this is much more snug fitting in the heel, and this is very comfortable straight out of the block. It's not too shallow or anything like that. They're very, very similar. I think if you're looking at the Nimbus or you are looking at the Saucony, these are definitely shoes that you should cross shop with each other. These are both very good. Also, probably the most responsive of any of the shoes, except for one, during tempo runs and more speed workouts. So that is the Saucony 23. The next thing would be the Brooks Glycerin 23. I don't actually have here, so I'm just going to show you the previous one, but the new one is also got an 8mm drop similar to the ASICS Nimbus. I do think the new 23, the Glycerin 23, the new one, is a much more plush shoe. It's also a little bit more expensive at $175, but it's much more plush. It's got a really triple layer engineered mesh on the top, jacquard mesh on the top, which is much more plush. It's a much more luxurious shoe, but it also feels much heavier and a little bit just less responsive. So if you're looking for a shoe that's a little more versatile and you want something that can do some more kind of more tempo-y runs, a little more speed to it, and a little more responsive, I would stick with the Nimbus 28. Let's see, moving on to the next one here. I wanted to add this in here because I think it's kind of similar, is the Vomero Plus from Nike. I would say this is pretty similar. Although I think this one actually, the thing with this one is it's really fun. This is just a fun shoe. If you didn't see my review, make sure you go check out my review on this Vomero Plus. It's definitely kind of the most spongy, the most high off the ground feeling of the bunch. It's a little bit squishy in the heel here, a little too squishy here. If you really come down on your heel unstably like this, or you run downhill and so forth. So it does have some issues there. But as far as fun goes and just kind of springy fun, yeah, this is probably the most fun out of the bunch here. But it does compete pretty well here as far as like lightness and responsiveness. So I did want to include that. The next one would be, again, I don't have the current one of this, but I have the Clifton 9 here. But envision the Clifton 10. And that also now has an 8mm drop, much like the Nimbus does. They kind of way similar. The only thing with the Clifton 10 is it, I don't know, there's no, I don't know, I don't get a soul from that shoe. I don't get like any kind of energy from that shoe. It just got a very vanilla feeling. It doesn't do anything wrong, but it doesn't do anything, I don't know, magically right either. It just doesn't have a, like I said, a soul. This thing you put on the Nimbus and just, it's got like a character to it. But if you want a little bit less expensive option that still has very good cushioning, I would look at the Clifton 10. I think that's a good option. Of course, a shoe that I wear a lot, which would probably be my main shoe, is this Via Forward from Ultra. So this is going to be a little bit different because it has a lower heel drop, but it's got, again, it's pretty lightweight. It's not too far off from here. It's got very good quality foam. Unlike that Clifton 10, which has just got regular injected EVA foam, this has got very high quality foam like the Glycerin from Brooks. This has got a nice wide platform, very similar. This is a great choice if you like the idea of the Nimbus 28, but you got a little bit wider foot. Ultra makes basically a wide or wider, so they're a really good choice if you have a wider foot and you're tired of your toes being squeezed together. This might be a very good choice. This is the Via Forward version 2, and again, this would be my main shoe if I wasn't wearing testing all these other shoes. This would be my shoe. If you're coming from a Nimbus 25 and you've been either just waiting it out or something, or haven't been too thrilled with the 26 or 27s, definitely take a look at this. If you were a fan of the Nimbus 25s, I think you're going to like this new 28. I sure have. So what's the last one here? What's the shoe that I think really gives it a run for its money. Yes, pun intended. I have to say is not, again, I don't have the new version of this, but it's the new version of the ASICS Cumulus. I think also goes by 28. I think it's version 28. I have been fitting people with the new Cumulus 28. I've tried it on a few times, and I have to tell you, wow, they have really done a great job. And for the price point currently at the time of this video, it's $145. Really hard to beat. You want a little bit more cushion. You want that kind of cushy feeling shoe. The Nimbus at $170, fantastic option. If you're willing to give up a little bit on the cushioning and you want a little bit more of a firmer feeling shoe, maybe a little bit more stable shoe, definitely look at the Cumulus from ASICS version 28. I am not a fan of the version 27. I'm not a crazy fan of it. I don't dislike this shoe, but there's nothing about it that I absolutely loved. The new one, they really did a great job. But I have worn them around and I've fitted several people with them. It is more stable. I think it's more stable than the Nimbus. They put the Nimbus tongue on it, although it's not as stretchy, but it's basically the same tongue. That is one of the main features of this shoe. I haven't had any complaints about the fit. And the one thing that's really cool on the Cumulus, especially at the time of this video being going up, in the winter time, is it's got blown rubber on the bottom. As I mentioned earlier, this has got these carbon rubber on the bottom, which probably will last longer, but this blown rubber is great if the ground is wet. So if it's been raining and so forth, or you're even like running on some rocky trails, this is much softer rubber, and it just sticks to stuff, and if it doesn't stick on the stuff, it's just really butter soft. I keep thinking ASICS is going to get rid of this blown rubber on the Cumulus, and they don't. And I'm thinking there's a reason. They know that this is very, very buttery soft feeling blown rubber on the bottom of the Cumulus. So I would have to tell you, if I had to pick any one of these shoes besides, of course, this Via Forward, if I were to like just be a new runner, I'm just getting into running, and I wanted to go into ASICS shoes. My dad wore ASICS or something, and I want to wear ASICS, and ASICS got a huge history in running and in running shoes, you know, and I was going to pick one shoe. I have to be honest with you, I think it would be the new version, the 28 of the Cumulus. I think is my go-to shoe for this, for ASICS at least right now. Really nice update. You should definitely check that out at $145 at the time of this video. Really good shoe. Again, I'm not taking down on, if you want more max cushioning, then the Nimbus 28 is the way to go. But if you're willing to give up some of that, you really need to take a look at the Cumulus. All right, anyway, I think we covered everything. So, yeah, as always, thanks for watching. And if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do that. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. And as always, keep on moving. All right, you got to keep moving, because you don't move, then you're going to be in the same place forever. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye.